This old guy DIY video has to do with learning by doing. So this summer, I helped a friend install this little fountain in her pond. As winter was coming, she asked if I thought it should be removed. I said, hey, that's a pretty strong pump, and winters in southern Michigan are pretty mild. I think it can make it through the winter. So here we are, January 14th. It's 2 degrees, forecast to be 2 degrees for the next week. So I came over today to see if there was a safe way for me to remove that pump and not risk failure. And my assessment at this point is it's not worth it. It's miserable standing here at 2 degrees, much less going in the water with either a canoe or waders. So we just had a discussion, and she's agreed she'll keep this thing running. If in fact the ice moves in on the pump and it can't discharge water, it should shut itself off and flip the circuit breaker. And in that case, I'll replace the pump for her in the spring. But this is part of the learning by doing test process. We're going to see if one of these trash pumps can keep enough open water to pump through the winter in southern Michigan. Thank you for watching. Now it's 4:30 p.m. on January 14th. A little pump that could is still fighting. We had 2 degrees all day, and it's supposed to be -10 tonight. It actually looks like it blasted. Oh, I see. It's getting iced over, so it's sinking. That's why it's losing more water. It blasted some of that ice off that had been built up there, and it continues to struggle. We'll see how it does. Today is January 16th. It's noon. It's 12 degrees, so we have a heat wave. And this little pond pump is turning out to be the little engine that could. So it's almost like an Icelandic volcano just doing its work. It's fighting to keep that water open. 3 more days, we have warm weather coming. So I'll put my money on this little fountain. Today is January 21st. The little engine that could is still driving water. And since the neighbor lady calls it Old Faithful, seems like the worst is behind us. It's 20 degrees today. For the last week, it's been as low as 5 during the day and 20 below at night. So we get a couple of warm days, that thing will be right back in action, spraying like it used to. Well, it's February 1st in southern Michigan. It's about 50 degrees today. Old Faithful is looking pretty peaked. So I suspect when we had those 5-degree days and basically he was frozen under and pushed under by the weight of the ice, he took on a bunch of vegetation into the intake. So later today or tomorrow, I'll come over and pull him out of the water, clean out the crap that should be in the intake. We'll put him out there again and see if he keeps going. I'm here today to close out the video on the fountain pump that my friend calls Old Faithful. So I stopped over yesterday afternoon. I didn't have my camera with me, but when I pulled that thing to shore and checked it out, there was no issue with vegetation at the input, and that thing has a 2-inch hole. It's prepared to take 2-inch solids. But when I made that little fountain head, it has a series of 1/2-inch holes, and what had happened is through the winter, various vegetation and little goo that looked like hair and boogers had plugged up 4 of the holes. So the output was greatly diminished. The pump just thought it had either restriction upstream or that it was pumping uphill, so it kept doing its job. But yesterday, I took that fountain head assembly off of the pump and I rinsed it out, and I used a little pick and I got the vegetation out of there, and I put him back out yesterday, and you see he's right back in action like he was the day that he started last June or July. So in summary, this thing made it through the 5-degree weather with the 20 degrees below at night, kept on going. Apparently it just occasionally needs to have the spray holes cleaned out, and it'll go forever. So thank you for watching. The little engine that could, also known as Old Faithful, made it through the winter. And today it's about 37 degrees in southern Michigan, and the pump appears to be happy. Have a great day.